Miguel's Taxi by Nanny Linda. Miguel came home from work one day, very sad, with tears in his eyes. "I've lost my job," he said to his mum. "So have all the other guys." "Oh no," said his mum Sarita. "What are you going to do?" "I'll find something. Don't worry, Mum. I have an idea or two." So a few days passed and Miguel made some plans, and one day he sat down with his mum and said, "I am not going to apply for any jobs. I am going to work for myself instead. I am going to provide a service for our popular little town and become a taxi driver and help people to travel around." So Miguel advertised in the local paper for the service that he would provide. Then he had his name printed on his car, on the bonnet and on both sides. One day the phone started ringing, and to Miguel's great delight, he made several bookings for his taxi service that very night. At 7 p.m. he collected Mrs. Vera Stevens for her weekly bingo trip, and then home again at 10 p.m. as she had a dodgy hip. Vera had won the main cash prize, plus a basket of fruit wrapped in a ribbon of pink, so she gave Miguel an extra tip to buy himself a drink. Sarah and Simon Peterson were off to their badminton club, and Miguel had to pick them up again after their refreshments at the local pub. They were walking very wobbly when Miguel picked them up quite late. "We won our tournament," they said and giggled, "so we just had to celebrate." All of the next day he was busy taking people here and there, one man to the railway station and a family to the fair. Miguel did a couple of school runs, which wasn't very far, and little Tommy Jenkins spilled his lunchbox in the car. He took Albert and his cat Carly to visit August, the town's most popular vet, as Carly was feeling poorly, probably from something that she ate. Then Jeannie Jackson and her teenage twins, Daisy and Emmy Lou, wanted to be taken several miles away to have a day at the local zoo. He picked up his old friend Maxwell, whose car had broken down, and dropped him off at a garage in another nearby town. He then received a booking from Harriet Oliver, who had called him on the off chance that he could take her and her double bass to the airport for a flight to France, where she was playing in a concert with an orchestra which was very well known, and she was rather nervous as it was the first time she had flown. Miguel and Harriet Oliver chatted for the whole of the trip. "I think he likes me," thought Harriet, and blushed at the thought of it. Then Miguel helped Harriet with her double bass, carrying it to the trolley bay, and gave her a beaming smile and said, "Good luck, Harriet. Have a lovely day." On Sunday, Miguel decided to have the day off, as no bookings had yet been received, and he was going to check his oil and tyre pressures and wash and polish the car, so he very happily rolled up his sleeves. Miguel was so very happy and content with his new taxi service scheme. In fact, it had always been in the back of his mind, but only as a dream. Miguel was now providing such a good service to the residents of the town, and they were all so very grateful, as it was so much easier to get around. One day, there was a fire at the local nursing home, and the matron, Mrs. Bunton, contacted Miguel on his mobile phone. "Oh, Miguel, can you help us, please?" she shouted into the phone in alarm. "We need to move the residents quickly to keep them from any harm." So Miguel used his taxi to ferry the residents from the nursing home, and he took them to lodge with different families in the town who cared for them like their own. Miguel made many trips on that awful day, but eventually all the residents had somewhere they could stay. It took several weeks to renovate and redecorate the nursing home, but eventually all the residents could return to the life they had previously known. One Sunday, Matron held an afternoon tea party with the cakes and scones all baked by her sister Agnes Jones, to thank all the people of the local town for their support in providing the residents with temporary homes. For Miguel, there was an extra thank you for all of his hard efforts on that day, and Matron had an award for him, and in her speech she did say that Miguel was a special person, well deserving for his endeavour, and she produced a lovely badge that was engraved with "Miguel, the best taxi driver ever."